Happy Pi Day, everybody. Did you know that any day during the month of March is a great day to celebrate Pi Day? So, what is Pi Day, and how do you teach your kids what Pi Day is, and how do you have fun as a mom celebrating it? This is Allison Meredith, and I'm here to share with you a simple idea that you can do at your house. Now, kids, I know there's some of you kids watching. Listen, this video is not for kids. So if you're a kid watching this video, go get your mom or your dad and say, come watch this. Mrs. Meredith says it's not for me. All right, I'm giving you just a moment to go find your parents. This is a video for mommies and daddies to help equip them to better involve you kids in a fun exploration. So go get your moms and dads. All right, I'm going to assume that the parents are watching now, and don't just tell the kids go do something for 5 minutes and then you'll explain what's going on. Here's what's going on. I want to equip you to better explain to kids what PI, not PIE, what the number pi means. And here's a fun way you can explore that. Let me share my screen first and just show you a couple of pictures of some kids who've been doing this for quite a while. Years ago, here in my home, we had a bunch of kids. As you can see, they all have round objects, and some of them have ribbon or masking tape or other things. Here you see a young man using ribbon to try to get across the rim of his bowl. Now, let me say the first thing that you need to do when you're getting your kids to do this fun exploration of what is pi anyway, what is it, is send your kids, whether it's 1, 2, 8, however many kids you have, everybody say, find something round. Find something round. Preferably then you can talk about circular versus round. We're not talking about three-dimensional round, even though everything they find is going to be three-dimensional, but we're going to be talking about circles. So here's an example. The top or the bottom of this cup is a wonderful circle. Here we go. Here's a candle. The bottom of this candle or the top rim. This looks like a circle to me. Here's a tricky example. You might have a kid that brings a spray bottle like this and see how the circle at the bottom is kind of curvy. I do not recommend using this. You can, it's just a little trickier to manage as the mom. Here's another one that's tricky to manage. What if one of your kids brings you this? It's beautiful. And here at the bottom, definitely, that's a clean, clear circle. The top has got this beautiful rim of bumps. So it's a good way to chat with your kids about, yeah, that's a beautiful circle. This is a true circle. This is more of an artistic flair given to a circle. So let's not use this top. That's going to confuse things. For my illustration, I'm just going to use this bowl. I'm going to use the top of it. Now, once everybody in your family, including you, the mom or dad, once everybody's got something different that's round, then choose either ribbon or string or masking tape. I'm going to use painter's tape just for this video, but truly you can use just about anything. Now, what you want to get your kids to do is to make a length across that circle. Now, notice this is not the longest it could be. Do you see how that does go across the circle? But you'll need to be getting your kids, you'll need to be asking, what's the longest? Well, I'm trying to hold this in front of the video camera. What's the longest? All right, that is a little longer than when I had it here, right? I want to try to get the longest length across my circle. And that is called, see if your kids know the name, but pause and ask. It's called the diameter. That's the diameter of the circle. Now, this is not perfect here, but thankfully I've got pretty close to the diameter. So now I'm going to tear off this tape. And I thankfully have a little extra here that I'm going to tear off and use as my marker. All right, so again, it's not perfect, but what I'm going to use as my marker is I'm going to mark this right here at the edge. Now, my diameter is a little wider than it should be. Ideally, you want it to be a string or a ribbon that's even thinner than this, but we're just going for an estimation here, so this works fine. Once all your kids have created either a piece of tape or a ribbon or string that's pretty close to exactly across, and across is the diameter, then you have them take that off. And using a marker, you want them to wrap that same length around the edge of the circle. Now you can take and use your finger as a marker, and simply using your finger as a marker, a little tricky to do here on camera, but you've wrapped that diameter once. Now we're wrapping it again. Now I'm going to use my finger as a marker this time and see if I can wrap it again. And what you will discover with all your kids, no matter which round object they have, is that hopefully every one of you is going to get to where, whoa, that pretty much wrapped around exactly 3 times. So ask your kids, did yours? I mean, what about you who had this little bottom of the cup? Did that diameter wrap around the edge 3 times? What about the top of the cup? What about the bottom of this candle? What about, I mean, whatever, whether it's again, 2, 3, 4, 5, or more of you, everybody get a different size circle and see how many times can you wrap that diameter around the circle. Well, it's almost always 3, pretty close to 3. Technically, it's not exactly 3. It's 3.14159265535 and on for infinity. It is an irrational number. It does not repeat. It's not like if you have 2 divided by 3. I mean, we've all been around the block enough to know that if you put 2 divided by 3 into your calculator, what do you get? You get a repeating decimal. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You ask your kids, see if they can figure it out. Versus if you put 3 divided by 4 into your calculator, you get a decimal that doesn't repeat. Again, I'm not telling you the answer. I want you to ask your kids, get them to think. But pi is irrational. Not only do you get something like, let's do an easy one, 1/2 equals 0.5. And it just ends. It doesn't say 0.555. No, just 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5 end, right? And some fractions like 3/4 will give you a clear, concise finish. Other numbers like 1/3, they give you a long, but it's a repeating decimal. Pi is not like that. Pi is irrational. That decimal goes on and on and on. 3.14159265355 never repeats. It's irrational. Fascinating. So the lesson there is that the part of the beauty of the world that God created is that for any circle, around divided by cross is about 3. Or to say it differently, the length of the diameter times 3.14159 is equal to the circumference, the distance around. So what is Pi Day? Well, it was back in the 80s or 90s that a bunch of us who were math teachers back then invented this really fun idea that since pi is 3.141, why don't we just say March 14th, 3.14? That's Pi Day, P-I-D-A-Y. And let's just celebrate the number pi, get our kids excited about math. And if the only thing they remember from that fun day of math games and that we actually ate real yummy P-I-E, if the only thing they remember is that pi is about 3, because we had our Pi Day party in March, which is the 3rd month, that's a win. So I'm just giving you permission any day, and not just permission, but encouragement, any day during the month of March, have your own family's Pi Day party. Just play some extra math games, do some kind of investigation with ribbon or string. Is it really true, kids, for every single circle that around divided by a cross is about 3? Really? Is that, I mean, I'm not convinced. Show me. I mean, that's the kind of things that you can say as a mom and just have fun watching your kids explore and just say things like, I wonder, I wonder. All right, so that's the end of the tip. I hope that makes it easy for you to do a simple Pi Day party at your house with a simple math exploration that will help your kids remember the fun of the number pi.